Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking you through 5 books that I think every therapist should read. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Alyssa Powers, and I created this channel to teach you the things that grad school didn't so you can thrive as a mental health therapist. Let's get right into it. I have 5 books here, and I tried to pick ones that weren't just the super obvious, every therapist has read kind of books, because you've probably already read those or heard of them. And I just think that there are so many obvious and non-obvious picks for books that therapists would like. So here are 5 of mine. There are so many other books I absolutely love to read. In 2022, I read 100 books, not all related to therapy, but just for fun. So I really love to read. I used to read a ton of nonfiction books, and now I lean more towards reading fiction. Currently, I'm kind of in a book slump, to be honest. So I'd love to hear if you're reading anything good. You should leave me a comment below. So first book is ADHD 2.0. If you work with any clients that have ADHD, I cannot recommend this book enough. It is such a great book, and if you're familiar with the literature and research around ADHD, almost all of it is child-centric, so really focused on like kids with ADHD, specifically like little boys are kind of the stereotype for ADHD, but of course that's not true, and we've seen a lot more females coming forward saying like that they were misdiagnosed or their diagnosis wasn't caught. I love this book because both of these authors have ADHD themselves, and they are both doctors, and it's focused more so on adults. It says on here, the new science and essential strategies for thriving with distraction from childhood through adulthood. But I would say it mostly focuses on adults, and we really needed a book like this. And it's pretty recent. Let's see if I can figure out when it was published. I want to say it came out in like 2020, sometime around then. Let's see. Oh, well, okay, 2021. Yeah, so pretty recent, and it's just a great read. If you work with clients with ADHD or even parents who have children with ADHD, I say this is like the best ADHD book out there, and I've read a lot of them. I would read it and not listen to it, because if you listen to audiobooks, there are tons of tables in this book, and they will read the tables, and it's just a nightmare. I would get the hard copy of this book. I would not listen to it on audio, but this is my first pick. Now, my next pick is the Sacred Enneagram. If you use the Enneagram with clients, I would say this is an amazing book. It does kind of have a little bit of a spiritual focus, and a lot of Enneagram literature and like the circles that the Enneagram is now popular in is kind of like the religious Christian circles, but I have found the Enneagram to be really helpful to use with clients. And I love this book because it's not corny like some of the other books are, and it's got beautiful like visuals. It's just an easy read, and I really liked this one because it has a spiritual focus. And sometimes clients are looking for some sort of like existential or spiritual guidance, but they don't want a religion per se. I think the Enneagram is a great thing to introduce to clients. So Sacred Enneagram, there are tons of books on the Enneagram though, and I would say this one is not the most elementary. I think the path back to you is a very good basic one. I will link that one below too, and I'm going to link all of these books in the description box, but I loved this one specifically. for all my private practice people, I had to include a business book. This is a great book by Donald Miller about how to grow a small business. I admittedly did not read this book when I was starting my private practice. I want to say it wasn't out yet, but I wish I had a book like this that talked about how to make a business plan, talked about all the things to think through. He is great. I grew up reading Donald Miller books. He's really kind of switched to being more of like a business and marketing person, but he owns Story Brand. If you've ever seen anything about Story Brand, okay, yeah, this says it came out in 2023. So very recent. And I love that because I think the landscape has changed quite a bit post-COVID. So I would recommend Donald Miller. I would recommend a business book if you are looking into private practice or even just thinking about it. See if this feels exciting to you or really overwhelming. That will be a good indicator on if you are a person cut out to run a small business like a private practice. I love this book. This is probably the most basic book or like most well-known book that I'm including, but I don't even work with couples, but this book, I just love it. I love it so much because every single client that you're going to work with probably is going to at some point talk to you about their romantic relationships. And it's really good to know what the research says about romantic relationships, about conflict specifically. And if you are just a therapist who is married or dating or partnered, whatever, this book is so good. I love the Gottmans. I think about this book all the time. I think I did have to read this book in my grad program, and I think that there were a couple questions on my NCE exam straight from this book, which is crazy because this is like not required reading for the program, but for mine it was, but like it's not K-crap. I don't even know what else to say other than you should really, really read this book. I love it. I would get the hard copy. I would loan it out to clients. I would recommend it to all your friends and family. I can't say enough good things. And he and his wife have a bunch of other books too that I've heard good things about, but the 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work is the one that I think is their holy grail. Okay, last book. And this one's a little bit different, but I truly love this. If you work with parents or you work with kids or you have kids yourself, this is The Danish Way of Parenting is such an easy read, and it just really reinforces a lot of things that I think we know as therapists. It talks about growth mindset. It talks about how important play is. It talks about fostering empathy in kids. Just lots of good therapeutic topics are in here. And even if you don't work with kids, but you work with parents of kids that struggle, I think this is an amazing book. I have read it multiple times. I have a son, so this is definitely going to be in my parenting book rotation, but I also love happiness research, and the little tagline says what the happiest people in the world know about raising confident, capable kids. So it's focused on Denmark and how they parent differently than we do in America. And it's just a great read. And I think it could be applied. I wanted to pick like the non-obvious, a couple non-obvious books, you know. Honorable mention to the novel Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. I don't have it here, but I did read it on my Kindle when it first came out, and that is such a great book. I wouldn't say it's helpful in terms of like, I don't think you're gonna learn things necessarily to implement with your clients, but it's basically the story of a therapist. It's a memoir, I want to say, of a therapist who her life is kind of falling apart and she goes to therapy herself, and it's just really, really good. I enjoyed it so much. It has like the tissue box on the front. Maybe you should talk to someone. I'll link it down below. That's a really fun read too. I would have included that if I had the hard copy, but I read that on my Kindle. I read a lot on my Kindle. Okay, well, I hope that you found this helpful. If it helped, I would love it if you would like this video and subscribe. It helps my channel so much. I actually looked at my YouTube analytics, and today is my channel's birthday. I think it's January 22nd when I'm recording this. So I've been doing this for a year, and I'm really proud of myself for sticking with it, because when you start something like this, you kind of just feel like you're shouting into the void. Like, is anyone watching these videos? Is anyone hearing me? Is this helpful? But I think it is helpful. I love long form content. I love watching YouTube. I've always wanted to do this, so I think I'm gonna stick with it. I know I was kind of inconsistent this past year because I had a baby. I was on maternity leave, so I think I get a little bit of a pass for that. But I plan to be more consistent this year. I already have videos scheduled the next couple of weeks, and I'm really close to getting monetized, which is very exciting. So, all right. Well, I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next one.